Good day, sir. Good day, classmates. Once again, I'm General D.R. Francisco, and this is the continuation of the report under Administering Questionnaires. So, we have managerial implications. So, as a manager, you will perhaps engage consultants to do research and may not be collecting data yourself through interviews, questionnaires, or observation. However, some basic knowledge of the characteristics and the advantages and disadvantages of primary methods to data collection will help you to evaluate alternative approaches to primary data collection and to understand why a consultant has opted for a certain method or for a combination of methods. So here, as the sponsor of the research, you will be able to decide what level of sophistication or you want data to be collected based on the, of course, the complexity and the gravity of the situation. So your input will help researchers or the consultants to think about their topic list, just like in the interviews, uh, their coding scheme in observation, and of course, the content of their questions, like in the questionnaires. So here are the examples of the managerial implications. So we have the multi-market contact, findings, implications for supplying firms, and implications for buying firms. First example is the low level of multi-market contact. So the findings are suppliers use legal legitimate power to a lower extent. And buyers use legal legitimate power to a higher extent. So the implications for supplying firms is that be prepared for the legal actions. For example, through more detailed contractual agreements and more transparency on the details of the contractual agreements. And try serving buyers on multiple markets. The implications for buying firms is that carefully review scope of relationship and continuously screen for alternative supplying firms and be cautious when reducing supply bases to more single or dual sourcing. Next example is that high level of multi-market contact. The findings are suppliers use legal legitimate power to a higher extent and buyers use legal legitimate power to a lower extent but use reward power to a higher extent. So the implications for supplying firms is that we consider whether the use of legal legitimate power is endangering long-term relationship with buyer. And the implications for buying firms is that monitor that suppliers are not taking undue advantage from increased incentives provided by the buying firm. So we have also that the manager, you will be able to differentiate between good and the bad questions used in surveys with sensitivity to cultural variations, not only in scaling, but also in developing the entire survey instrument and in collecting data. So in totality, as a constant or a participant, observer of all that goes on around you at the workplace, you will be able to understand the dynamics operating of the situation. So that's the end of the report. Thank you.